Bonjour, my name is David DeVere. I'm a wine educator and traveler, and you're watching Savvy Nomad TV, the Eau de Vie edition. We're in day 22 of the Costco Wine Advent box. Let's see what the box has got for us today. If you're new here and you don't know how you got here, then welcome. But there is a playlist you can click in the description or in this little flyout card if that works for you. If you're watching on a TV, it won't, or on a mobile device. Why does YouTube offer these things if they don't work in all the places you can watch YouTube? Anyway, you can click the link in the description for the playlist, or you can click that little link in the flyout card. This is day 22. Let's see what we have got. I got a lot of holes in my box. That's what I got. In fact, I could just tear all that off. There's one bottle hiding here, here, and here. What do we have? It's white. It's a Chardonnay from Spain. Okay, let's try it. Okay, Chardonnay from Spain. Is Spain known for its Chardonnay? No, not in the slightest. So what can we infer from that? Well, we can infer that we have a white table wine, and they chose Chardonnay as the grape. Now, this still gives us an opportunity to think about this in a couple different ways. One, how did they make the Chardonnay? Okay, that's interesting. And two, will we be able to notice the production style of the Chardonnay? There are two ways to make Chardonnay. The first way is you make it in a stainless steel tank. That allows the fruit to stay citrusy, to stay crisp like a Granny Smith apple, to have high acidity, and to have a very light mouthfeel. The other way is Chardonnay in an oak barrel. This smooths out the fruit aromas, makes them more on a peach or nectarine style. It can add coconut, other tropical fruits. The acidity level falls, the mouthfeel becomes bigger and creamier. You can even get the aromas of butter or butterscotch. Now, why is this? You've got the same grape, but two different ways of making it. It's the oak barrel. So when they're making an oak barrel, they need to get all the staves that are at the top that have one hoop on, and the bottom is all splayed out. They need to get that into the barrel shape. The way they do this is to start a little fire, put the barrel over the top of the fire, put a come-along around the bottom of the barrel, and then with water and heat from the fire, they steam the barrel staves and they pull them together. The longer it takes to do this, the more charred the inside of the barrel gets. That charring effect changes the character of the wine. It can change a wine from a green apple, crisp, citrusy wine to a buttery, smooth, creamy wine. And there's one other little thing going on there too. There's malolactic fermentation, which can happen in the barrel. So that is a bacterial fermentation where the malic acid is eaten and it's turned into lactic acid. Lactic acid is the acids you have in milk. That's why it's called lactic. Malic acids are the acids you have in green apples. So that changes in the barrel too. So now the barrel has really taken this grape that expresses itself all by itself over here as green, tart, citrusy, and high acid, and a light mouthfeel. The barrel moves it into creamy, big mouth, coconut, and the fruits change from citrus to more stone fruits like peaches and apricots. Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's manufacturing. It's using the barrel to change this. Now, red wines almost always go through that barrel process, although sometimes they're just used in concrete or in clay or those sort of things, and then they don't have that. It's a style of winemaking. They don't say here on the label how they made it. They just say Chardonnay in Spain. So we don't know. It means it's Chardonnay from anywhere in Spain. But let's see if in tasting we can taste the effect of the oak. If we can, that'll be interesting. If we can't, well, that'll be interesting too. At the end, I'll look it up. I'll look up the producer's website and we'll see if they tell us how it's done. Okay, let's taste it. 57 degrees. That's good. Now, talking about an oak barrel, do I think that this table wine used an oak barrel? No, I don't. The producers can get away with doing it cheaper. And the way you would do that is to use sawdust, oak sawdust, or oak chips in the wine. It doesn't work as well, but an oak barrel can be $2,500 or more for one barrel. That's quite expensive. If you're making wines for the Costco wine box, are you going to spend $2,500 to make a Spanish Chardonnay? Probably not. These wines, these table wines, low-end or low-cost wines in general, have a lot of food additives put in there. And people can have some allergic reactions to those. They can make you sneeze. They can make your face flush. Typically, I would encourage you to buy the highest quality wines you can afford. Do I buy $10 wines? Absolutely. Would I like to buy $50 or $100 wines? Yes. Can I afford those? No, not even in the slightest. But I do go to France and I do buy French wine, and you get the same thing but for much cheaper. And you get the trip to France. So it's almost like the wine is free. Or maybe the trip to France is free. You can literally get $100 or $150 wines in France at the grocery store for around 20 euros. So $22. $25. All right. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if we can smell butterscotch or coconut or something like that. Well, let's work on the color. Okay, it is yellow, and it's a deep yellow. It might even be gold. It does look kind of golden. All right, I'm changing it. Gold. Aromas. What did I get? I didn't get a lot of citrus aromas. I got something else. Maybe some peach. It smells clean. It's not overly aromatic. Okay, so I'm going to give it 5 for aroma. All right, let's taste it. Now, unoaked Chardonnay, light body. Oaked Chardonnay, big body. Okay, working through the chart. Dry or sweet? Dry. Body. This is definitely medium full. This has got a much bigger body than some of our other whites. Certainly, if you think back to our Sauvignon Blanc, a much lighter body. What's the acidity here? It's either fresh or smooth. You decide. I'm going to go smooth. The acidity is nice. It's dancing on the tongue. It's making me water. I'll go 8. Balance. Let's taste it again. The balance is good. The alcohol is not noticeable. It shouldn't be. The acidity is nice. There's no tannins. and the sugars are fine. Good balance. I'll give it an 8. Complexity. Do I get more flavors, more aromas, more anything drinking this? It's nice. I think the complexity is interesting. I think there are some flavors here. Is there multiple distinctive flavors? No, but I'll give it a 6. Finish and length. It's got a nice finish. Is it particularly long? No. Is Chardonnay known for a long finish? No, it isn't. So as Chardonnays go, this is kind of a longish finish. So I will go long. And is it adding to the sensation? Yes, it is. So I will give it a 7. All right. Before I do my math, I'm going to go check the producer's website. We'll see if they say how it's done. Do you think it's done in an oak barrel? I think it might be. At least it has gone through malolactic fermentation, where those green apple aromas have turned to lactic buttery type flavors. Certainly the body's big enough for it. But let me go check. All right. Oaked or non-oaked? That is the question. What did you guess? Did you guess oaked? Well, then you'd be right. Looking at the importer's website, they said this was fermented in stainless steel, but aged in oak. Again, I don't really think they stuck it in an oak barrel. They probably used oak chips or sawdust and then filtered it out. Why? Because at this price point, oak barrels are prohibitively expensive. Okay, let's get to my scores for this wine. Aroma 5, acidity 8, balance 8, complexity 6, finish and length 7. 34 points for 84. That's pretty good for this. This is what I would call a New World style Chardonnay cocktail wine. This is something you could have outside of a meal. It doesn't need food to make it better. It doesn't make food better. It's a cocktail. It's a nice, easy drinking Chardonnay. It's got a big mouthfeel, a long finish. There you go. Now, if you like Chardonnay and you want oaked Chardonnay, you're going to have to hunt a little bit for it. In France, wines from the lower Burgundy region, these would say Bourgogne Village on them, or some of the other areas in the Côte de Bon. Those regions produce oaked Chardonnay, some of the most expensive oak Chardonnay in the world. But if you're shopping outside of France, you're going to have to read the label to try to figure out if it's an oaked Chardonnay or not. Now, if you don't want oak, easy, and you're shopping in France, it's really simple. Just buy a Chablis. That's technically part of Burgundy, but way to the north. And they have a tradition of not oaking their Chardonnays. So Chablis for non-oaked. Again, outside of France, you're going to have to hunt and peck around on the label. Maybe it'll tell you whether it was not oaked or not. The Australians use the word tree-free on the label. Since oak is a tree, you know that it's a non-oaked Chardonnay. There's hints. There's a brand from California called Toasted Head. Now, that means the barrel. They're talking about the amount of toast, the amount of cooking of the barrel. Toasted Head is a hint that it's an oaked Chardonnay. That's quite a nice wine. I like it a lot. Really coconut forward in its flavor. All right, that's what I've got for you today for day 22. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here or you haven't, please consider subscribing and leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Until day 23, we've only got 2 days left. Until day 23, I say a tutelare and cheers.
Chardonnay. I don't really smell any vanilla like oak hints. Doesn't mean it's not there, but it smells more citrusy, lemony. would not guess this is Chardonnay. The color is neat. It's pretty goldy. A bigger mouthfeel. And somebody asked on Facebook the other day, what does big mouthfeel mean? And it means, is this more like skim milk, whole milk, or cream? And this is more like whole milk, I'd say. Pretty long lasting. It keeps coating my mouth, like it's not drying it like tannins do. I'm surprised. It's interesting. Cheers.